So nobody knows the rivalry between Pep Guardiola and Zlatan Ibrahimovic better than you. How would you describe it?
So it was an encounter of minds, a completely different minds that understand football and perhaps even life in a completely different way. Think of it as Pep thinking of the collective, Zlatan thinking of his own career. By the way, players do that anyway. But in the relation of Zlatan as a player to the collective, that's where they clashed. So basically it was a player growing in Lionel Messi who started on the right and attack making diagonals, and geographically Zlatan was in the middle. So the suggestion from Pep was like, would you adapt to all that? And I'm a Zlatan, so it was more like, why don't you build a team around me instead? So from then on, it was quite clear that that relationship was not going to work between coach and player. The second part of that is how they both talk about the personal side of things. Pep has hardly spoken about it, but he always insists in one thing. I spoke to him face to face. I told him what I had to tell him. I don't do it via the press. But Zlatan complains that he wasn't talked face to face. When that happens, when somebody says, I did say it, and the other says, I didn't hear it, maybe that's what happened, that one person didn't hear it, or didn't want to hear what he wanted to hear. So, yeah, a clash, it happens, and it seems like one's still bitter in Zlatan, and one wants to play it down.
And I mean, you've seen a lot of derbies, especially the ones, El Clásico of Real Madrid playing Barcelona. How does the Manchester derbies compare to the Spanish ones?
I still think Barcelona-Real Madrid is the biggest game in the world, but this is the biggest Premier League game ever. So it is the biggest it can be, I think. The interest is massive. There was limits in the numbers of press passes that were given. It's impossible to get a ticket. They're reselling the tickets for like £1,000, and it will be more closer to the game. So it is the biggest it can be, but still, Real Madrid Barcelona seems to be on another level, and it's got to do with the fact that Barcelona and Madrid represent two societies, two way of thinking, two languages, a lot of things that the Manchester derby doesn't have. But having said that, now the Manchester derby can show off personalities, and that's new because it has always been difficult to bring all those big names into Manchester. Well, they're here now and they're facing each other, so it's good news for everybody.
Pep was very complimentary to Zlatan and the impact he has in clubs right away. I mean, are you impressed with his first games in Manchester United?
I'm not surprised, but I am impressed because he's embraced the challenge at a time when you think, people go to China. Well, no, he's come to the Premier League to help Jose Mourinho to make Manchester United winners of the Premier League, which would be the most competitive league in the world. So, chapeau, well done, bravo. It's the kind of thing that you have to admire someone for, and that's exactly what Pep said as well. It's not only the challenge; it's actually the immediacy of the challenge, of the impact, which impresses everybody. So, yeah, I wasn't surprised, but it's definitely good to see.
Well, you know Pep better than anyone, especially writing that excellent book of yours, Another Way of Winning. I mean, do you think that did he miss an opportunity to make, to really get Zlatan Ibrahimovic into that Barcelona team? Do you ever wonder what could have happened if Messi and Zlatan really clicked?
The thing is that could have happened was already tried. So Pep tried it in different ways and tried to approach Zlatan in different ways, and trying to build a relationship in different ways. And I think it got to a point where it was like, it's not going to work, and that's it. If it's not going to work in football, you have to move on, you have to go into the next thing. So it's probably the first time in his career where Zlatan has felt that he was not needed, that he was not the centre of the attention, that he was not the player everything went through. Have a look at the teams he goes to, including this Manchester United. He's going to be the centre, the focal point of the attack and the focal point of the attraction pre-game and post-game. That's what he wants. It wasn't going to work like that at Barcelona. And when he talks about Iniesta and Xavi being schoolboys and all that, and you think, you didn't get it, did you? You did not get it. I think that's what happened, but it's fine. I mean, he's done a brilliant career otherwise.
Finally, what's going to be the score at Old Trafford?
Well, I don't know, I'm terrible for predictions, but I think it's not going to be many goals. They all going to try new things, both teams, and I do believe that it's easier to destruct than to create. And Mourinho's an expert in disruption, while Guardiola is about creating space. It's too early for Pep. Perhaps it's less early for Manchester United, so they should be favourites. They're at home as well. You know, even a 1-0 victory to United could be possible, but I wouldn't take anything away from Manchester City. They have the possibility of actually going there and winning. So, you know, I haven't answered the question, have I?
I think you said 0-0.
Yeah, that's basically it.